What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we're going over Solana as a price move is about to happen that I think we can take advantage of. So let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get right into today's video. So I am on my BitGet charts here, and as you can see, the move that we called in the last video has come to fruition, and we executed perfectly a 20% gain. Now, in the last video, I told you all about my shorting strategy. Ever since May, I have been 11 for 11 on a strategy that goes like this. What I've noticed is that while we've been in a macro downtrend, we've been creating many rising structures, whether it's a rising triangle or it's just a rising wedge. And what happens is that the moment that we break to the downside of these rising wedges, we revisit the previous points that we touched the bottom side of the structure. So what you can see here is that we touched the bottom side of this structure 1, 2, and 3 times. These 3 levels become our breakdown targets. And once we break to the downside here, there is a very strong % chance that we will come revisit, if not all of these, at least one of these levels, so they serve as perfect shorting breakdown targets. So what I'll do is the moment we get a break of structure here and a daily close below support, I will short the price all the way down to that first time in which we did touch it. And as you can see here, the moment we did get the daily close, I opened up that short trade as announced on the channel and in my Patreon. And you can see that we fell about 10 to 11%. I usually trade on 2 to 2.5x leverage. In this example, I did see a gain of right over 20%, which was absolutely phenomenal for this trade. So now going forward, since we did hit breakdown target number 1, we are aware of a few things. The first thing is that since we hit breakdown target number 1, at any given point, we could see a bounce and a continuation to the top side since one of the breakdown targets has been reached. What we also know, though, is that if we start getting closes below this level, there is a very strong chance we will hit breakdown target number 2, sitting right now around $32.49. So for that reason, let's prepare for either one of those options, and I'm going to show you how I plan on taking advantage of the price move that is very likely to come over the next 48 to 72 hours. So first and foremost, let's talk about a bounce, okay? Can this thing bounce to the upside, and can we make some gains off of it? Well, looking at the daily RSI, I think there is a fair chance to say that we could do it. Let's actually go down to the 4-hour RSI. It's a little bit clearer. I think there is a fair chance that we could see a bounce here for Solana. Now, the reason I say that is because pay attention to the movement differences. We got the strong slope to the downside, followed by a bit of sideways falling in comparison to this. So the slope changed. It was straight down. Now it's a little bit more sideways to the right. Okay. Now on the RSI, while we are seeing the sideways movement downwards, we're getting an RSI reading that's actually increasing. Now, what I did is I went back to history and I looked for some moments that we saw this happen, and every single time over the last about 2 months that we would see this, right? A fall, a downtrend, and then we start to see a little bit of upward movements with this RSI pushing upwards. We actually get these strong bounces to the top side. And so for that reason, I want to go ahead and say that there is a fair chance that we actually do see the price of Solana get a bit of a bounce here. Now, I'm not very confident that that's going to happen. Of course, there are many macro factors affecting the market, and we are reacting very strongly off of Bitcoin, but there is at least a chance that we do get this push to the upside. So what's it going to look like? How will I know we're getting a push to the upside, and how am I going to make gains off of that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the breaking of this short-term trend line that we've been below for the last roughly 2 days. If we're going to get a break above this level and then we clear the most recent high, this is extremely important. We clear the most recent high, I'm going to go long, expecting the price to push back up to this key level of resistance, this previous point of support, right around $38.22. What I would need to see is Solana breaking back above the current level of around $36, which gets us back above this high and above the trend line. And if that is capable of happening, I think there could be a nice little gain there, right? I think there could be a nice little push of about 4 to 5%, which could be anywhere between 8 to 12% in gains, depending on leverage, if you do use that. And so for that reason, although it's not a huge gain, I think there can be some gains to be made if we do get a break above this key level of resistance and then back above the previous high, set the higher high, currently around $36.50. cents. So that's the top side. Okay, now remember, all of these trades I will be doing over on BitGet. BitGet is the best exchange out right now, in my opinion. You know, I might have a little bit of biases because I personally use it myself, but I genuinely believe that they are the easiest and most convenient. And if you do sign up, there is up to $4,000 in bonuses you can receive. So I do believe it is worth using the referral link down below and at least checking it out. Shorting, going long, again, everything leverage is super easy on this platform. And if you do want to check it out, again, I do have a link down below. Now, if I'm going to be going short, let's talk about what happens if this does not break to the top side and we do start getting moves to the downside. Well, what I'm personally looking for is the loss of our breakdown target number 1, currently sitting around, again, $34. And let's just go ahead and call it roughly $34 and about 80 cents. Okay. If we see the price of Solana get daily closes below $34.80, I will have the personal conviction that we are now losing breakdown target number 1 and very, very likely coming down to breakdown target number 2, as historically that is how these moves will happen, okay? And so for that reason, be on the lookout for, again, $34.80. If we get a daily close below that, personally, I will be opening up a short trade, expecting some type of push of about, roughly 6 to 7% to the downside, looking for a gain of anywhere between 12 and 15% just over the course of this small move from $34.80 to roughly $32.48. Now, the good thing is that there's not much liquidity between these two levels. We didn't really get a lot of sideways movement in here. It was really just straight up through it and straight down through it back here. So for that reason, I think that fall would happen relatively fast. And so for that reason, I would just be waiting to take profits closer towards $32.50 on that move there. Again, if we are capable of losing $34.80 on the daily close. So overall, I do believe that one way or another, if this breaks up or if this breaks down, there are some extreme gains to be made here. And so my whole game plan is to not try to guess, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But what I can do is use my structural technical analysis as well as just kind of general common sense to establish some trade setups that we can take on under any circumstances so that no matter what this market throws at us, we are capable of reacting and being able to take some gains home. Remember, we are currently right now over in the Patreon, as I've shown you guys in the last video, 11 for 11 with our short trade strategies. And that just goes to show the power of preparation and being ready for anything this market throws at us. So with that said, I hope we can continue this streak. Be on the lookout for these key breakouts. Look for the break of trend to the top side or the loss of $34.80 to the downside. And from there, that is when the trades will be opened up on my side. Of course, if you do want access to them the moment I do them, they will be provided in my Patreon. The link is in the description. But if you want to take on these trades yourself, again, I do refer you over to BitGet, as I think they are probably the best exchange out right now. But with that said, that is about it for today's video. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.